Thank you. Good morning. Great to see you all again, and welcome to Appian World. It's been a big year for us. We had our IPO, we had a lot of attention, and it's wonderful to bring this group back together because as big as it gets, it still feels like a reunion, right? Here's pictures of us last night having fun in Miami. Miami, by the way. Is this okay? Miami? Did we do all right with that? It's great. I love everything about being here except that I have to speak indoors. Save for that, this is terrific. So here we are yesterday, here we are last night, these photos, and then here we are the rest of the year. Right? We're making the economy run. You pick any one of these pictures, right? From telecommunications to transportation to green energy to fast food, and there's someone in this room who's making it happen. All right? This is something to be proud of. It's what we do 363 days out of the year, and then we come back here and we touch base again. Millions of users are running thousands of applications on the Appian platform. And you know, it takes great applications to keep these organizations running and winning. It takes powerful, unique applications. We're proud to be providing the platform on which you make those, and it's our goal to make it as easy as humanly possible for you to make, maintain, change, and adapt those powerful, unique applications. Every year, we come here to Appian World, and we announce new functionality that'll make it easier for you to create these applications. We want it to be as simple as possible. An analyst said a year or two ago that we were 20 times as fast as custom code, and I love that, but we want to be faster. It's our goal to just keep getting faster. We're already, in my opinion, the fastest way to build powerful applications, and it is our commitment to just keep focusing on this so it gets easier and easier. You know, we're not doing that to open up a lead on the competition, because I should confess here, I don't think about the competition very much. That's really not what we're about at Appian. I don't worry about how we position. I don't worry about how we stack up. I don't worry about what features somebody else has. We really don't think about it. Instead, we're thinking about value. How can we make a product that's good for you? And if we do that, we're just going to follow that star. And wherever that takes us, that's where we end up. And wherever that positions us, that's how we get positioned. So we're not thinking about how we stack up against somebody else. And we're not trying to open up a lead. What we're trying to do is unlock an entire market. You see, I believe that there is a renaissance in unique applications waiting to happen. We're the first vanguard of that renaissance, but we're just the beginning. There's an entire renaissance behind us. And so how do we unlock that market and let loose all that creativity and innovation that's going to follow? Here's what it is. In my opinion, all we need to do is make it a lot easier to build an application. If only it were simple, software would take a whole different kind of role in our lives and our work and our businesses and organizing our behaviors. All we've got to do is make it a lot easier. And so having already delivered to you the ability to make powerful applications, we need to complement that by making those applications as simple to create and change and manage and deploy and consume as possible. I think that's what's holding back the renaissance, and you will see us focus on that relentlessly. By the way, if there is such a renaissance, then not only will organizations make more unique software, but they're also going to be able to behave uniquely. You see, this is a big mission. We're not just pushing code. We're enabling organizations to reassert their own personalities. And that could make a better world. That could really change the way we interact and we do business and we create relationships between people and organizations. So that's what we're doing. Now, our goal, every 2 years, we want to cut in half the work it takes to build an application, presumably the same application. So 2 years from now, it should take half as much work as it took today. And 2 years after that, it'll take 1/4 as much work. That's what we're hoping to do. We're going to follow this curve. It's like Moore's Law, except instead of the size of a transistor, it's going to be the amount of work it takes to build your application. And we're serious about this, and we track it. So anyway, on to the features. Let me show you the things that we're giving you to allow you to follow that curve. You know, if we're going to do this, if we're going to follow that curve, here's how we do it internally. We map out every segment of the process of building a new application or process. There's the planning, there's the diagramming, there's the agile loops, there's the testing, there's the usage training, there's the integration, right? The testing. Every one of these pieces is quantified, and we stack them out and we think, okay, where are we going to cut this in half? And a few places naturally suggest themselves. Right? Naturally, you'd want to attack the places that are taking the longest, or the places that still require some scripting. That's the kind of thing we go for. So we map this out, and then we choose our target, and we go after it. And here's one of those targets, right? Interface design is one of those targets. We wanted it to be incredibly intuitive to build an interface in Appian. You often have to make an interface. You make lots of interfaces for one application. So shouldn't this just be as easy and as straightforward as possible? Well, here's what we've got. From now on, we're going to drag and drop them 100%. And here's a little video that shows how it's going to work. And you'll see, by the way, notice how the interface adapts in real time, the template does, around the object you're introducing. So you can get a quick view. How would it look like if you put it here? How would it look like if you put it here? It's really intuitive. It's just as simple as we can make it, very elegant. This is one of the features that we've got to make it twice as fast to build applications. The interfaces keep getting better too. It's not just that it's easier to build them; it's that they're easier on the eyes. Notice a few things here. To your far right, at the end of the stage, we've got card layouts, which means we've got big buttons taking up a large piece of the screen that just give you a simple instruction, a simple choice. This is great for people who are working through a set of decisions on a high volume basis, and they want it to be really intuitive, and you want it streamlined and simple and no confusion. With an interface like that, we've come a long way from a few years ago when we used to just throw the kitchen sink at you. So this is great. It's going to be very simple. It's good for call centers, that kind of thing. Notice also that in one of the screens in the center here behind me, there is an embedded web page. It's a Google map. And then over on this side, there's another one, and that is a technical document. It looks like the specs from an aircraft engine. Those are both embedded web pages. We now allow you to do that in the midst of an Appian interface, just as simply as you could add anything else. We've got so many more choices for how to format the user interface, right? The text, and then the shapes and the boxes and the columns. It's getting really suited to whatever you want to express in your interface. And of course, it's possible now to be denser than it used to be. Density is so important, and I know in the past we've done interfaces that were pretty spaced out, and they looked a little bit too HTML to me. Now it's going to be so intuitive. It looks like you might have just drawn it on a piece of paper. You've got everything where you want it, and it takes the size and the shape and the boldness and the italics and the layout, and you've got complements between elements. This is the most intuitive interface we've ever delivered, and it's still exceptionally easy to assemble. This is a complicated slide. This is about integration, and the point is the opposite. The point is that we're making integration simple. We've had a multi-year effort in which we've specialized a substantial part of the engineering department to make integrations easy, because we realized that of all the pieces of the application, integrations were taking one of the largest periods of time. So we focused on this. We've made a lot of progress. If you only keep track from Appian World to Appian World, then you might be, let's see, the OAuth would be new to you, the OAuth 2.0. But if you keep track on a week-to-week basis, we've still got something new here, which is the Open API. We're just announcing now that we're Open API compliant, and we've gone ahead and used Open API to create our first batch of connected systems. And just so you know, the way this works is we're essentially connecting to it, we're doing an integration in a way that'll become totally intuitive, right? There's no code involved, and it becomes a reusable object. And that's a connected system. We've made the first 3, and we're going to make more, and we'll let you make some. But it's just the easiest way going to do the integrations, and we're announcing our compliance with it right now. And later on in this presentation, I'll be talking about what those first 3 connected systems are. They play into our AI theme. So also, by the way, our libraries, our connector library today requires some complex expressions, but that's not going to be the case in the future. We're going to bundle that as a connected system. And so you're going to be able to integrate with that in a no-code manner as well. So a lot going on in integration. In the past, you could have safely assumed that if your process model were delegating an action, that action would be delegated to a human being. You can no longer assume this, however. Sometimes now we delegate it to an RPA bot, and sometimes it could be delegated to an artificial intelligence algorithm, right? So we're having to string all these things together. You've got to manage these multiple delegations. You have to harmonize them. Essentially, the process layer has become the orchestration layer, and you never know where you might have to do a delegation. And you certainly have to bring back knowledge of that. You have to manage it and make harmony, right, out of all these different services that you're calling. And that's the new challenge for us, is to be an orchestration layer that allows you to manage and run and monitor and operationalize these additional execution assets that you may bring to bear in your process. So that's what we're doing. And we're going to talk a lot about AI and RPA during the rest of this presentation in the next few slides. But I want to say, first of all, this is our new challenge. This intelligent automation is the way of the future for BPM and for the industries that we're doing. So we need to be good at this, and nobody's yet really made it easy enough. We mean not just to be able to unify these, but to make it intuitive, practical, and simple for you. So that's the objective this year for us, not just to give you intelligent automation, but to make it simple and practical. Between the two, I'm going to start with AI. Now, you know we've announced AI functionality before. We did a big deal of it at last year's Appian World. We've had some quarterly things, but never before have we announced an AI logo. We made an AI logo this time, so you know we're serious. We've taken it to a new level. All right, so AI. AI has probably the highest hype to practicality ratio of any feature going these days. Everybody talks about it, and not nearly enough of us are using it or getting value out of it. I think there's some fundamental misconceptions, actually, if I may, about where AI belongs. Is it going to run your business? Is it going to write your software? Is it going to set interest rates? Is it going to shape your pricing? The answer is no. No, it isn't. Not now. Someday, maybe. I mean, typically in technology, any technological revolution is farther away and bigger than you think it is. So that's generally true for AI as well. However, AI can matter today. It can be very impactful today, and we're going to help you do that. We just have to, first of all, know where to put it. AI is great at evaluating things, right? Identifying things. AI belongs down the stack, not the top of the stack. And so we're going to make it easy and practical for you to use AI where it belongs, plug it in, and get value from it. All right, that's our goal. And so we got a couple of announcements around AI and how you're going to get value from it right now. Intuitive, straightforward ways to make AI matter to you. All right? Are your customers happy? How happy? All right, it's hard to know. When will you know? Hopefully you're not waiting for them to upgrade or churn. No, we want to know right away. Ideally, we would know how happy they are in real time. And so, right now I'm announcing Appian's first built-in artificial intelligence service. It is sentiment analysis. We will look at any text string in real time and analyze the sentiment using a vast artificial intelligence database and render to you immediately a score from 1 to 100. How happy is this customer? You can tell a lot from the way people write or the words they say. Right? We could feed in an email. We could feed in text strings. We could do a real-time transcription of a phone call, and we will tell you whether that is a happy customer or not. This is really valuable functionality, and this is the kind of thing that AI could be used for and should be used for everywhere right away. It's just great insight into evaluating the state of a customer. So, by the way, this product has far more uses than just knowing whether your customers are happy. That's not even the end of it. It'll also tell you which customer reps are doing the best job, which products are most effective, whether customers trend up or down over time. Right? This is going to be a great barometer for all sorts of customer experience. This is a good way to test the customer experience in many different ways. This is one of these fundamental things. We've been wanting to offer you this. This seems like one of the best things we could do with artificial intelligence. I'm proud to say that we've got it bundled into Appian right now. No additional charge, just it's there and it's usable. We're also announcing at the same time our first 3 connected systems, and they are artificial intelligence systems. We've connected the Amazon, the Google, and the Microsoft artificial intelligence systems. To be precise, Amazon machine learning Azure Luis and Google Cloud Natural Learning are all connected systems in Appian now, which means you can access them, integrate with them, call them, use them, get responses with a reusable object with no code whatsoever. If you've got a model in any one of these services, you use an easy wizard in Appian to connect to it, and it becomes a reusable object for use ever after by you and everybody else in the Appian system. We're trying to make this as easy as possible for you to leverage artificial intelligence. We do it ourselves. If you send a note to the Appian Support Center, we are right now using this exact system to diagnose what kind of an issue you're writing about and where it should be routed. And your note gets connected to a support engineer based on that artificial intelligence diagnosis. And we are also using the sentiment analysis to see how happy or unhappy you are. So in the future, if you send us a mean letter, we will write a number somewhere. We will know it, and we'll know how angry you are. So, right, artificial intelligence. Anyway, so this is the other AI thing we're doing. Here's some AI in action. You can see, I hope you can see, it's a little bit small. Numbers, this is, okay, imagine you're the manager of a call center, and every one of your reps is having a conversation, in this case a text conversation, I think the screen is, and every one of them is getting a real-time score, and we put flags next to the unhappy ones. Imagine the power this gives you as the manager of that call center. The insight, right, into which reps are succeeding, or who's having a bad day and should go take a lunch break, or which call or text you need to jump into in order to set things right. This is so valuable. It's all real time. It's working. Or you could do this today. We do this. And by the way, I didn't even put all the AI features I could have onto this slide. It could have had chatbots, which we use today they automatically respond to basic questions with basic answers. It could have included AI suggestions, which we've also automated so that AI from one of those 3 services I talked about could be recommending you a new action based on this customer and the situation that you've got with this customer. So all that AI in action in Appian today. Next on to RPA. You recall last year, we had a segment about Blue Prism. Very exciting, exclusive partnership we announced, integration, one-stop shop, right? I'm not going to talk about all those things because I talked about them last year, but we're still excited about it, and we're still happy to be working with Blue Prism, in addition to being compatible with all the other RPA vendors. This time, though, we're talking about orchestration. As I mentioned in intelligent automation, we need to orchestrate the way RPA interfaces with process. RPA is an important part these days of the intelligent enterprise, and so we've got to deal them in and kind of manage those bots and delegate to the bots and track them and monitor them and that sort of thing. So that's what we're giving you today. 2 things, actually, 2 important things. One is bidirectional passage of complex data types. And hold on, that sounds complicated, but it's important. The reason we'd want to pass a complex data type is RPA is one of the world's best ways to do integration. You want to integrate to an old system, a system without a good API, a system that isn't compatible with the latest standards. One of the best ways to do it is to integrate through the monitor with the mouses and the clicks and so on, the keystrokes. You integrate that way, and if so, you're fetching back a piece of data that could be a very complicated piece of data. That might be a complex data type, and so it's not enough to just call a bot. You want to be able to pass a complex data type back and forth between a bot. So that's kind of cool. And then also, we're going to make it possible for you to manage and monitor bots in a big way. Here is the interface, actually. We've created this. This is available now in the App Store. This is allowing you to track your workforce. Notice how you got a certain number of bots and a certain number of people, and you're tracking. And the bar chart in particular shows which jobs are going to the people versus which jobs are the robots. Bad news, the robots are getting most of them. And it shows how much time you're saving and allows you to manage how all this is going. This is available now. We want you to be able to make RPA part of the team, part of the orchestration process, part of the way your enterprise handles its tasks. So this is available today. Of all the names for our market, and there's a lot of them, BPM, case management, low code, and there's some others. There's some emerging names, and there's some truly strange names. But you put all these together, my favorite is low code. The reason it's my favorite is because it's so intuitive. It's simple, and it says what it means. And I think our entire industry has a lack of simplicity problem. We need to get a lot more simple. And so low code, for its directness and its intuitiveness, is my favorite name. And so we're trying to raise the profile of it, right? It means the same thing to me, but I want it to be better understood. Low code means making applications more easily because you don't have to code, or you don't have to code as much. That is a very straightforward concept that the world needs. There's too many processes out there, too many applications that need to be built, and not enough people who can do it. So we're all in need of a better way, a more efficient way to make these processes and these applications. So low code can be it. When we did our IPO last year, we did it largely to raise our profile and the profile of our market. Call it what you will, but perhaps call it low code. And so I hope that more attention will come to this term. But at the same time, if more attention does come to this term, I want people to understand what it means, because I think there's still confusion around that. Low code means making it easier to develop software because you don't have to use as much code. It doesn't mean, and here I differ with many, it doesn't mean that the thing you're creating is unsophisticated. In fact, the world didn't need an easier way to make unsophisticated software. It needed an easier way to make sophisticated software. That should be the essence, the core value proposition, in my opinion, of low code. But the market right now looks something like this. There's a high end, and then there's a crowded low end. And I want to say that the high end matters in this space. Low code should be used above all to make sophisticated software, because that's the software that was taking the longest to build anyway. We need an easier way to make the software that the world runs on, that important organizations run on, that you and I will depend on to do essential mission-critical things. And so let's not forget that low code has an enterprise end, right? And the enterprise end may even be the most important thing in low code. I feel it's the most important thing. But I want to talk about what the difference is. I want to run over a few features that differentiate Appian from that stripe across the bottom, and for that matter, differentiate Appian from every company out there. We're the only one who can do the following things, which seem like very intuitive things. Take this, for example. If you build an application, isn't it clear that you should be able to host it anywhere, any cloud, on-premise? That you should be able to run it anywhere, any major device, mobile, desktop. And that you should be able to leave the data wherever you like, probably where it already was in your enterprise. Host anywhere, run anywhere, data anywhere. That just sounds empowering to me. Sounds empowering and intuitive. And of course, that's what we would want to give you. And that's what you would want, right? If you were building your own application tomorrow, you would expect these things. For some reason, they're hard to come by. You can't find it in the low-code market or in the BPM market or anywhere else. And at least we provide it, but it should be more common. Here's another thing that separates us. It's this commitment to enterprise quality and enterprise scale. We're reliable. We offer a serious SLA on our cloud instances, right? We have a RTO, which is like the target for how fast, a guarantee of how fast we'll get it back up if there's a problem. We dedicate a lot of energy to security because we know that we are already a pro-security innovation in your enterprise. If you write 100 applications on the Appian platform and you replace 100 silos, then you have 99 fewer points of possible entry. So you're already a lot more secure. And I want to be sure that that one new security perimeter that replaced the 100 you used to support is a really strong security perimeter. So we take security very seriously. And we got global cloud. We're announcing right now. We opened up in Tokyo, new cloud instance. We're piggybacking, of course, on AWS. So that's how we do it, but Tokyo now. So we're enterprise. This is something you need in applications. We give you the freedom to run anywhere you want, to be secure that it's going to stay up, to be confident that it's not going to be intruded upon. This is what modern software demands. We've made a few architectural enhancements that I'd like to briefly make you aware of. The typical Appian configuration is 3 engines. You may know this. You may run 3 engines. There are just a few people in this room that are running at the maximum. The maximum today is 16. We're doubling it. As of this release, it's going up to 32. So if you were at the ceiling, you can rest assured we're raising it for you. And if you are a long way away from it, then just know that you've got a big runway ahead. We also figured out how to run our requests in parallel so that now when we fetch information from multiple data sources, we're doing that separately in different requests, and that'll accelerate dramatically the amount of time it takes to get back a record that has information from multiple places. Finally, we're very excited about containerization. Containerization is going to be a big deal. It allows you to isolate workload, to scale better. It's terrific for portability, and you know how much we care about portability, moving from cloud to cloud. It's more efficient. It's easier to do an installation. So we're certified on Docker. We're going to let you use Kubernetes. There'll be more detail on this later on, and there'll be more features coming. We're very excited about containerization. As I was saying, there's a lot of names for our market. One of them is case management. Case management tends to focus on the individual case, like the customer case. It's a very customer-centric area of our business, and it's similar to the others. We have the same product for all these areas, but it's great to see recognition. This is the most recent quadrant that came out from any major analyst. It's great to see more recognition and more confirmation that we're offering something that's best in class. I do think we've got a unique proposition now for handling customer events better than anybody else in the world, and we're proud to mention that we've been recognized for that just recently. I privately feel that by the time a smaller firm like Appian, a newly public firm, gets ahead of some leviathans, that it's a pretty big statement. I think that this means more than even the picture perhaps would indicate. For a long time, Appian has been asked, I get asked at these shows all the time, if we're going to build an application on top of our platform. And for a long time, we've said no. We've said no because I wanted to focus on building the best possible platform for you so that you could make whatever you wanted. I thought our top priority would be to enable in a very horizontal way instead of building out one or other thing. But times have changed a little bit. We've had our IPO. We're bigger now. We've got more recognition, and if we enter a market, we can get a lot more publicity around that. And so I'm going to announce that at long last, Appian has built an application on top of the Appian platform, and it is now available. It's a call center, and we already did call centers. In fact, if you recall in previous years on this stage, you've heard speakers from Goldman Sachs and Barclays and Aviva talk about their call center built on the Appian platform. So we are not new to call centers. In fact, we know our way around, and we've built some great call centers with the help of our customers. And so we knew we could do it. And at the same time, we knew that there was a major opportunity, a real inflection point in this market right now. There are two things missing from the call center that I think will transform it so much that we saw an opportunity to build and offer a call center product. Number one, call centers today do not give you a 360-degree view of the client. You don't know nearly enough about the person on the other end of the phone call. Ideally, every touch point would be part of one long conversation, and you'd pick right up, and you'd know who they were, and you'd know why they were there, and what they wanted, and what they should be offered, and how they felt last time, and what the course of their customerhood has been. And that is generally not the case with call centers, but it is the case with Appian. Appian is the best at bringing together multiple sources of information into one cohesive picture to allow you to track the journey of a customer or anything else that's changing as it goes through time. So we figured we've got a big edge in terms of bringing to bear all the information that an organization knows about the customer on the other end of the phone. And then the other primary inflection point here is the use of artificial intelligence in order to interpret that data and offer up something astonishing based on it. I think our approach to artificial intelligence is particularly good. I think we've got the right principles in mind, the practicality, the intent to just operationalize and make basic value, the openness that we're bringing. There are different systems, Google, Azure, Amazon. The way that we're approaching AI, I think, gives us an edge, even over every other company that's talking about AI until they're out of breath. I think we've got a better approach, and we've certainly got a better data set on which to run the AI, so this is our moment. And so The future call center, very different from the present call center. We want to show you what it's like. Here it is. The desktop, the agent desktop, has integrated multi-channel communication. We are and we will be working with industry leaders like Twilio and Genesys on this, but you're seeing here a Twilio embedded. We've got AI recommendations being brought to bear. The AI doesn't make the decision, not necessarily, but it offers to the call center representative its suggestion. Based on what we know of this customer, we think they need this upgrade. We think they need that offer. We think you should offer them a free night. Whatever it is, here's what we think this customer needs. And then based on that intuition, the call center representative makes their own decision. It's like a bird on your shoulder, right? Whispering good ideas. We have a chatbot, and that's when you just want the bird to do the talking. Right? A chatbot means the artificial intelligence algorithm is making the responses until such time as it reaches a point where it needs a human on the line, and then it just seamlessly switches over, and the customer never knows whether they were talking to a chatbot or a human or a combination of the two. We've got analytics that goes on top of everything and allows you to see into real time, jump into conversations. We've got, of course, the sentiment analysis that allows you to see what's going well, and instantly you zoom in on that if you want to and check it out. We can see trends, who are your best reps, what customers are changing. The combination of data and artificial intelligence is really powerful here. So this is what we, and by the way, best-in-class case management as per Forrester just recently. And case management is all about taking care of the latest customer case that comes in. So we've got the best case management, we got the best data access, and we have the best artificial intelligence. We're bringing that together to create a uniquely advantaged intelligent call center solution. We're proud of our features. We're proud of all these things that we worked a year to bring to you today. We're proud of this new call center application we've got, but we don't measure our success by any of these things. Instead, we measure the success by the satisfaction that you derive from working with us. And so I'm particularly pleased that year after year we get called out by major analysts, by thought leaders as having the fastest time to value, the highest ROI, the happiest customers. This is very meaningful to us, and we want to keep this going. No matter how much we grow, this is our priority, and we're going to stay focused on it. When you succeed, we want to celebrate. Lately, we've started this new tradition where when you go live, we surprise you with a Lego model of your business, right? Or depicting the thing that you've just built. And we've done several of these, maybe 20 so far. We're just getting rolling. But it's great fun. I love Lego bricks anyway. And this is kind of has a parallel with the way Appian works, right? Because you assemble applications from fairly simple pieces, and it's intuitive and easy and empowering. So I like the connection, I like the Lego bricks, and I like celebrating with you your successes. So we've been doing some of these, and maybe we'll come to your town next and bring you a model. It's been a lot of fun. I'm so glad you're here. I look forward to seeing everybody. Enjoy the show. Thank you very much.